he shall not be hanged tomorrow day, cried Robin, or if he be full merry, one shall gnave the sword, and many shall have cause to cry alack a day. Then he clapped his horn to his lips and blew 3 blasts right loudly, and presently his good yeoman came running through the greenwoods until 70 bold blades were gathered round him. Now hang you all, cried Robin. Our dear companion Will Studley hath been taken by that villain sheriff man, therefore doth it behove us to take bow and brand in his hand to bring him off again. For I wot that he ought to risk life and limb for him, as he hath risked life and limb for us. Is it not so, merry men all? Then all cried aye with a great voice. So the next day they all wended their way from Sherwood Forest, but by different paths, for it behoved them to be very crafty, so that the band separated into parties of 2s and 3s, which were all to meet again in a tangled dell that lay near the Nottingham town. Then all they had all gathered off at the place of meeting. Robin spoke to them thus: Though we will lie here in ambush until we can get news, for it doth behove us to be cunning and wary, if we won't bring our friend Will Studley off from the sheriff's clutches. So they lay hidden for a long time, until the sun stood high in the sky. The day was warm, and the dust road was bare of travellers, except an aged palmer who walked slowly along the high road that led close beside the grey castle wall of Nottingham town. Then Robin saw that no other wayfarer was within sight. He called young David of Doncaster, who was a shrewd man for his years, and said to him, Now get thee forth, young David, and speak to yonder palmer that walks beside the town wall, for he hath come but now from Nottingham town, and may tell thee news of good Studley, perhaps. So David stone forth, and when he came up to the pilgrim, he saluted him and said, Good morrow, holy father, and canst thou tell me when Will Studley will be hanged upon the gallows tree? I fain would not miss the sight, for I have come from afar to see so sturdily a roach hanged. Now out upon thee, young man, cried the palmer, that thou shouldn't speak as so when a good stout man is to be hanged for nothing but guarding his own life. And he stuck his staff upon the ground in anger. Alas, say I, that this things should be, for even this day, towards evening, when the sun fell low, he shall be hanged 80 rods from the great town gate of Nottingham, when 3 roads meet, for there the sheriff sweareth he shall die as a warning to the outlaws in Nottinghamshire. But yet I say again, alas, for though Robin and his band may be outlaws, yet he taketh only from the rich and the strong and the dishonest man, while there is not a poor widow nor a peasant with many children knit the Sherwood, but has barely flour enough all the year long through him. It grieveth my heart to see one of as gallant as this stoutly die, for I have been a good Saxon yeoman in my day, ere I turned palmer, and well I know a stone hand, and one that smiths shrewdly at a cruel Norman, or a proud abbot with fat money bags. Had good Studley master but known how this man was compassionate about with perils, perhaps he might send successor to bring him out of the hand of this enemy. Ay, marry, that is true, cried the young man. If Robin and his men be nigh this place, I wot right well they will strive to bring him forth from his peril. But fare thee well, thou good old man, and believe me, if Will Studley died, he shall be right well avenged. Then he turned and stole rapidly away, but the palmer looked after him, muttering, I vote that youth is not country hidden, that cometh to see a good man die. Well, well, perchance Robin Hood is not so far away, but that there will be stout doings this day. So he went upon his way, muttering to himself. When David of Donchester told Robin Hood that the palmer had said to him, Robin called the band around him and spoke to them thus. Now let us get straight away into Nottingham town and mix ourselves with the people there. But keep ye one another in sight, pressing as nearer the prisoner and his guards as ye can. When they come outside the walls, strike no man without need, for I would fain avoid bloodshed. But if ye do strike, strike hard, and see that there be no need to strike again. Then keep all together until we come again to Sherwood, and let no man leave his fellows. The sun was low in the western sky, when a bird's note sounded from the castle wall. When all was bustle in Nottingham town, and crowds filled the streets, for all knew that the famous Will Stoutley was to be hanged that day. Presently the castle gates opened wide, and great array of men at arms came forth with noise and clatter, the sheriff all clad in shining mail of Lincoln grey, riding at their head. In the midst of all the guards, in a cart with a handler about his neck, rode Will Stoutley. His face was pale with his wound and with loss of blood, like the moon in broad daylight, and his fair hair was clotted in points upon his forehead, where the blood has hardened. When he came forth from the castle, he looked up and he looked down, but though he saw some faces that showed pity and some that showed friendliness, he saw none that he knew. Then his heart sank within him like a plummet of lead, but nevertheless he spoke up loudly. Give a sword to my hand, Sir Sheriff, said he, and wounded man though I be, I will thee fight, and all thy men till life and strength be gone. Nay, thou mayest well, quoth the sheriff, turning his head and looking right grimly upon Will Stoutley. They shall have no sword, but shall die a mean death, as beseemeth a vile thief like thee. Then do but untie my hands, and I will fight thee and thy man with no weapon, but only my naked fists. I crave no weapon, but let me not be meanly hanged this day. Then the sheriff laughed aloud. Why, how now, quoth he, is thy proud stomach quailing? Shrieve thou vile knave, for I mean that thou shalt hang this day, and that there thee roads meet, so that all men shall see thee hang, for carrion crows and doves to peck at. Oh, thou darest heart, cried Will Stoutley, gnashing his teeth at the sheriff. Thou coward hide, if ever my good master meet thee, thou shalt pay deadly for this day's work. Ye doth scorn thee, and so do all brave hearts. Knowest thou not that thou and thy name are yeast upon the lips of brave yeomen? Such a one as thou art, though wretched craven, will never be able to subdue bold Robin Hood.